Hello!
Hello!
Welcome.
Why am I so much lower than you are?
I don't know.
Why am I so much lower?
I don't know. You fix it.
Slouching, and I'm
Welcome,
slouching. All right.
welcome.
Hello, welcome everyone to this
To
live
this.
stream. Oh,
To
God, I look
this.
weird with the hood up.
Whatever this is.
Sorry, it's this office is really cold, and it seems to not sort of go with the temperature outside because the temperature outside is not too bad. It's
I'm the
about 9
opposite.
degrees now.
I'm, if anything, slightly too warm.
If
This
anything,
is
you're
my
slightly too
grandfather's like
70s.
original 70. It's my grandfather's like original 70s sport coat, and it's remarkably warm. But I am
What
also
sport would
just
you play in that?
No, it's like a sports coat, like a sports coat. You know, not like a coat for sports, a sports coat. You know. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Sports.
Um,
welcome
Sports,
to more than
indeed.
West Rewatch.
Welcome. It's the final rewatch stuff because we're running out of stuff to rewatch. Frankly,
Yeah, we
that isn't
really-
stuff that we currently do. And tonight we're touching on stuff that we currently do on
Yeah,
a regular
we really
basis.
are.
It's just
Pretty
in
much
German.
But
It's just in German.
so.
Yeah.
Let's get the admin out of the way at the top. Those of you that watched last week's car crash of a stream, or will have realised that obviously we can't stream copyrighted material on YouTube. It does not like it, even if we're allowed to show that material. So we are allowed to show the footage we show, but YouTube's algorithm takes it down automatically, and that is problematic. So
And then we get strikes against the channel. We discover what they were for the first time. Apparently they're bad.
yeah, because we did it and then got taken down, and then put it back up, and then tried again, and then got taken down. And basically, YouTube sent us an email going, "Do that again, and we will take your channel down," which would be bad. So we're not
punch you
doing
in the
that.
chops. So
Haven't worked out how we're going to do this. I haven't tested technology. Really, it's just occurred to me that I should have thought of that. But the plan is, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the first clip, which is our live forms of ours and therefore no copyright stuff, and then we're going to do what we're calling, or what moderator Emma has called, the Twitch switch, where we're going to jump from whatever platform we're on, if you're not on Twitch, over to Twitch, who don't seem to have the same copyright business that we're doing, to watch a clip of us on ITV1's The Next Great Magician, and a clip that we did for the CW network for Penn and Teller's sort of lockdown special they did. Penn and Teller,
which was only
tried this at
8-9 months ago.
it does say lockdown. It's not like it's not an old thing, but I don't know how many people watched it. I don't think it's hosted on our YouTube channel. Is it?
No, it's
Do we
not.
have it on YouTube?
No, we don't. Also, Liam's not joining us for this one, sadly, but that's fine because Liam didn't create anything for this.
Yeah,
Liam is not the architect of anything we're watching tonight, so it's
It's
fine.
the thing. It's the first time in weeks where Liam Welton hasn't designed some sound or some print or something. So now he's like, "I'm out of here. I'm not watching you,
Yeah,
folks.
I'm done.
I'm out of here."
Whatever.
But he's dead to us. He's completely dead to us.
Yeah.
But
So, Roger, if you want to stay watching after the German bit, Roger has been waiting for this German video for 2.5 years. Liam slammed the door on the way out. Thanks, Liam. Roger, if you want to watch anything after the German bit, you're going to have to migrate over to Twitch, as everyone else will. It's twitch.tv/Morgan and West.
bam! It's the bottom of those socials. It's that social there. Hang on, I'm
It's the social just sort of on the eyebrow line.
I can't.
There it is. Hang on, Twitch.
Below.
Wait. Twitch.tv/
Again, you go, and then I'll take over. Do that again. I'll take over.
Hang on, right, okay, right, here we go. And there's the eyebrow, and twitch.tv/
Morgan and West.
Seamless.
We nailed that. We're a double act.
Absolutely.
We absolutely
There
smashed
you go.
that.
Exactly.
But yeah, so but the first thing up we're going to watch us performing in German. So a bit of background. We got invited out to a magic convention. I'll tell you that. We got invited out to a magic convention in Germany, and because we've done a bunch of magic conventions in England and America, which are places where a bunch of magicians go and they watch other magicians lecture and perform and do stuff. It's the kind of thing that you do in our community. And
if you ever saw the Justin Lee Collins Channel 4 show Convention Crasher back in about 2008, before he was roundly discovered to be awful, then he did a magic convention at one point and learnt to do a sawing in half off Richard Cadell, otherwise known as the bottom half of Sooty. And so it's that sort of thing. They're actually jolly good fun.
Sort of thing. And the conventions are good fun, and it's often the only time we see our mates. But usually at the English conventions that we do regularly, there will be a bunch of European performers that come over, and they're all performing in English because they all speak multiple languages. And
so when we were invited to a German convention, we were ashamed by the fact that we don't speak a second language.
We don't speak a second language. because we're bad.
And I've got GCSE in German from now the best part of 20 years ago. At the time, it was only 16 years ago or something like that. So I said, how hard can it be? We can learn this in German.
How hard can it be to learn 15 minutes of our script in German? Turns out, quite hard.
Quite hard. And so what we did was we got in touch. We wanted it to be translated properly. We wanted it translated idiomatically.
Yeah, we didn't Google translate this. We didn't Google.
No. So my lab partner from university is a German speaker. She has very interesting heritage. Her parents are both Australian. They live in Hamburg because her mum's conductor of the Hamburg National Opera. But as a result, she speaks fluent German, as does her sister. And her sister very kindly offered to translate stuff for us for a little bit of a fee, of course. And so Lucy Condon Young translated 20 minutes of our show for us. We learned 15 of those minutes.
We learned 15 of those minutes. And by learned, I mean sort of learned.
Yeah, I think I did all right.
You did pretty well. I did not do pretty well.
Weirdly, Rob is normally really good at learning script and I'm normally dreadful at it. Turns out that you've just got to give it to us in German and then I get good at learning script.
It turns out that learning script is much harder when you don't actually know what the words mean and you're just learning sounds. Because I did like 2 years of German at school, so I can sort of pronounce things. But especially the problem with German is that syntactically German is different to English and the verb goes at the end or whatever, which is why German jokes are much more slapsticky than they are thing because the punchlines don't work. But it meant that
More on that later.
But it means that if we're going to do sort of magic in German, it's not just saying the same stuff we're saying in English, but each word has been replaced with a German word. And if we were saying it something like French, which Rish and I can sort of struggle by in,
I can have a conversation.
You could have a conversation in French. I could get by just about. But if we were doing our show in bits of French, if that had been translated, we would at least know what the words mean, so we'd know, be like, and this bit I'm saying this. Whereas in German, a lot of it is going, I don't know what each of these words means, and if I leave one out, it probably completely changes the sentence.
Completely changes everything. So this is the first 15. We drove to this convention. It was a 13-hour drive because at one point Google Maps rerouted us through the centre of Brussels because the ring road of Brussels was completely blocked. So it rerouted us through the centre of Brussels at one point in our massive long wheelbase transit. Where when we got on the Eurotunnel, we got pulled over by customs and they x-rayed the van. They said, "What's inside?"
Like,
we said,
"It's a magic
show."
It's a magic show.
That's always engenders a chuckle.
What kind of stuff? Like some trunks, a 7-foot magic
giant
wand.
Magic wand.
We're not even using it. It just lives in the roof of the van. Like just a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so we drove to Frankfurt and did this convention, and they were all very kind to us as we butchered their language.
As you'll now notice. So apologies in advance to any actual German speakers out there.
Yeah.
This is dreadful.
Yeah, we've got a few German speakers, some Austrians and such in the various comment chats, and some people that just speak German. Sorry. Also, the sound on this is not great because it is just a camera at the back of the room. We'll try and bump the sound as much as we can.
Yeah, pop in the comments if you're having issues with the sound.
Yeah, if you're having issues with the sound, we will...
We probably won't speak over a lot of this other than to go, oh God.
Because what are we going to say? And that bit I'm saying something.
Yeah. Did we own the van? Yes, it's our van. It's our massive, ridiculous ex-police surveillance van. That's another story.
More on that. More on van business later. For now, let's enjoy Morgan and West. Just before we go, because I cut this out of the video, but we had the footage, but I cut it out. Before this, there was a long intro bit with like the mayor, I think. Came on.
Oh, there was. I'd forgotten about that.
And it's weird enough when you're side of stage and some people are doing like a long intro, like "Thanks for the thing, welcome to the people. We'd like to thank so and so." But obviously that wasn't
we don't know what they're saying,
and we don't know anything they're saying, and so we're just waiting there for quite a long time, waiting for. It was Andreas who introduced us, wasn't it? I think for this. Yeah. Andreas introduced us, the guy who's running the convention, just waiting for him to go Morgan and West, because that's the only cue we knew. And so we just stood there for ages in the wings while they sort of did pleasantries and things. And maybe the mayor, maybe not the mayor. I don't know who it was. There were some people. I've cut that out of the video.
Cleaner.
It's just going to start with us walking on. So, sit back.
Good luck, everyone.
Grab a breakfast and enjoy Morgan and West butchering the German language.
Mein Mein Name ist Reese Morgan. Ich heiße Robert West. Zusammen sind wir Morgan West. Sauer Zeitreisende und hundenvortrefflich Kerle. Da wir in Deutschland sind, haben wir ein paar von unserer Tricks übersetzen lassen. Normalerweise sprechen wir keine Deutsch, aber wir werden es versuchen. Jedoch nicht für alle Tricks, sondern die ersten 15 Minuten.
That's a pity round of applause, isn't it?
That's a pity round of applause for us saying we've tried to learn the first 15 minutes of the show in German.
Vergeben Sie uns bitte unsere Akzente, unsere Aussprecher und unsere Unfähigkeit, sie zu verstehen, wenn Sie nicht auf Englisch antworten.
So that line was, please forgive our accents. Oh, what's your line? Something, Reese?
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation and our inability to answer when you speak to us in German.
Yeah. That was me calling a bottle of glass.
Gibt's da ein Problem? Ich hätte schwören können, ich hätte da eine Flasche gehabt. Keine Sorge, fangen wir nochmal an.
I think this trick is all right because this is not a lot
It's
to
so
say.
repetitive. We just say the same
thing.
thing over and over again. We did okay. The next trick is like a huge block of text from me, which I learnt, and then a whole bunch of other lines I did not learn.
I remember that sentence being really tough.
Yeah.
Ich hatte schwören können, ich habe ein...
Yeah, the German thought, I could have sworn I had a bottle here.
was just the most tongue-twisty nonsense. Just, ich hatte schwören können, ich habe eine Flasche gehabt.
Someone came up to us afterwards and said, I appreciate we're talking over this, but we're just repeating the same lines over and over again. Someone came to us afterwards and said, you're the first foreigner I've ever heard use the past imperfect tense. And we were like, did we?
Yeah, thanks, Lucy. It's very odd watching this. Because I've never seen this either. I've never seen this.
Also, I think this is quite a good trick for a German audience because it's also a bit slapsticky.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they seem to be enjoying this.
They were very kind.
Oh yeah, they were lovely.
Nicovini in the comments has put down what that sentence you keep saying is.
So that's not the sentence that I was saying. It's very close to what I was saying, but what I was saying was slightly different. I'm willing to believe that that's more proper than what I was saying.
Also, I really enjoyed getting to go, jawohl! Certainly.
So I think I was saying gehabt rather than hätte at the end. Augenblicklich. I used to love saying augenblicklich because in the blink of an eye. Augenblicklich.
Augenblicklich. Although, magic convention crowd, so that reveal at the end, because obviously they know it's coming. It was just like
nothing.
I'm like, come on, magicians. Come on, pretend you haven't seen this.
3.5 minutes was pretty good.
Not so bad.
Oh yeah. So this bit's in English because we forgot to get this translated.
Yeah, so because we did like our whole show
for later in the show.
Yeah, we did like our whole show and did this bit and went, oh yeah, this is also in Pearl Tricks at this point in the show.
Yeah.
The audience must be going, what the hell is going on at this point? That was not 15 minutes. Those of you that have seen our show Pearl Tricks, this is the setup for the costume change we do later in the show. Or kaput.
Yeah. Und ich trage ein... Whatever cravat is, what I would assume is...
Flapped up. Yes, you know, back to Hogwarts. On the old Hogwarts Express. The elves don't take the Hogwarts Express.
You can also... We are rushing through these lines because we're aware that we're like, oh God, next is more German.
Oh God, this has got a long bit, and yeah, and...
Carry on, okay. Zauber ist das Unmögliche zu tun. Das Problem mit dem Unmöglichen ist, dass es, unmöglich ist? Ja. Aber wenn wir als Zauberer sagen, dass wir das unmöglich tun, meinen wir wirklich, dass es so wirkt?
Long pause there.
Long pause there, wasn't it?
Because this was just a big paragraph, wasn't it? That you were just learning phonetically.
Yeah.
I can see you panicking as well. I can see the way you're holding your shoulders. You're panicking.
Got a laugh though, didn't it? I just told a joke in German. Very proud of that. Very proud of that.
I'm going to say that you said some words in German,
and they went, "We get the idea. We get the idea, mate. Do your best."
Heute Abend, wir schenken es Ihnen.
And we chose this trick because once this speech is over, the rest of it's
very
silent.
little speaking until the long bit at the end. Where there's quite a lot of speaking, which we kind of forgot about. Also, thanks Andreas in the comments for saying my ooh umlaut is good. I think my accent's not bad. I just don't know what the words I'm saying mean. Unmöglichkeit is impossible. I seem to remember that. We have a present for you. Again, only know that because that's the script, and there's only one line there.
Yeah. That one's Geschenk present. That's
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. So whilst this is happening, because there's no German going on
There's
here,
no German going on.
So there was a comedy in the evening. There was a full comedy magic show, 4 guys, and it was very German humour, which we did not understand, but we found it quite funny. A friend of ours, Pitt Hartling, was part of that group, who's a card magician, but also he's in this thing, and we had tickets to it. But this theatre was really bizarre, and I don't know. Perhaps you can answer in the comments if you live in Germany or in and out of Germany. The theatre was a 250-seat theatre, and the tickets were numbered 1 to 250.
Yeah, it was just like your seat 51. Off you go. And we're like,
and there's a seat.
It's about.
And there was a seating plan outside, and you had to go and work out where your seat was. It was bonkers. And when we went to China.
Just if you can't see on the stream what's going on properly, we've taken out a glass jar and put it under that cloth over there, and now the guy's taking a card and he's going to sign it, just to catch up with the trick. Yes. So but when we went to China, the weird thing is because they were like, are all theatres like that in German? Is that what theatres are like in Germany, or is it just that one theatre? Similarly, when we went and performed in China in Beijing, the theatre there, all the even numbers were on one side, all the odd numbers were on the other. So the seats went from the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, is that all Chinese theatres or just that one? Who knows?
Just the Super Theatre in Beijing. Who knows?
Just the Super Theatre in Beijing.
We don't. I remember the very first time we performed this trick live, we were absolutely pooping ourselves because we were doing it in Wilton's and Darren was in the audience. And this is the first time we'd ever done this trick live for an audience, which was a bonkers idea.
You know what? I've not watched through this footage, so I don't know if we don't cock this up or not.
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's probably all right.
It's probably all right, but sometimes
I
think
think you might drop the deck.
I might drop the deck, yeah. Because the thing is, when you perform... So one of the people often say to us when we're going on stage, they go, do you not get nervous? And honestly, the idea nowadays, no, we don't. Because we perform a lot. And we do shows a lot. And really, we've had every circumstance that can go wrong, and we've had every type of audience and thing. So we very rarely get nervous. Maybe when we're doing TV spots, you get a bit nervous, but this kind of live performance, no, don't get nervous. Except when you're performing in a language which is not your original language. And I was so nervous throughout this entire 15 minutes. And there's a point, like the point at which we stopped, I was like, all the tension left my body. To catch you up with the trick, they signed a card and it went back into a box and we cut a square in the box and then the deck vanished. And now it's in that jar. But you can't really see that because of the resolution on the camera.
Yeah, and the jar is, the neck of the jar is narrower than the deck of cards. And he's answering you in German, despite the fact that we said, don't answer us in German.
I don't know what the word I just said was. I think I just said sealed. I mean, the nice thing about this trick is you can just show the audience that, look, there's a deck in that jar and it's really not coming out. You can just see, you can hear me swallowing my words as well as I go, I don't know what I'm saying. And run the applause. Remember
magic applause.
And I want to point out, we're not dying. This is a convention crowd.
Bit of business.
We definitely get it. I definitely get it.
What's that, sorry?
There's a line here I just completely balls up.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Yeah.
That's clearly not a good sentence.
You can see them all fixing it.
Yeah. Wow, I do not remember any of. So bottles I can remember most of.
Yeah.
This I don't remember any of.
Nope, couldn't have done any of that.
For a while, what we used to do to practice this was when we were doing sound checks in theatre, we'd go through bottles in German.
And like once or twice, we'd get a tech who was doing the sound tech who spoke German, who's been like, that's quite impressive.
Windsor, Theatre Royal Windsor.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Well, they've had to walk all the way from seat 151.
Which could be anywhere.
I think at this point I'm just going ring.
Yeah. I think you're home and dry now. You've had the hard bit now.
I'm basically home and dry. Although I tell you what, it's really handy misdirection being able to forget words. Since all in the comments asking us how long we practiced the German for, we practiced it for ages. It was just, I think the problem was we practiced it on our own in our houses, and the second I was up on stage doing stuff,
I used to walk the streets,
rambling like a crazy person.
We only had a month because this convention was at the beginning of October, and we finished the Fringe at the end of August, so we had a month. That's all we had.
But yeah. So like, but I think the problem was, and the reason that I really sort of messed up was that walking up and down my garden, fine. Like walking out on stage and doing stuff at the same time, less fine. Like we did okay, but less fine. But again, you can see we picked tricks without a huge amount of chat in them, or largely with one big speech in them. What was the trick we decided not to do in the end?
10-card trick.
Oh, it was, yeah. That would have been
We had it translated.
We had it translated,
Got it translated.
But we realised that we had a fourth trick planned that we were going to do in German, but we realised that one where it involved them following very specific instructions and saying things back to us. And I was I mean, that is a recipe for disaster. So we're like, we're not going to do that.
Well, and we ran out of time learning it as well.
Yeah.
I remember a week before we were just like, let's stick to 3. I think we can get 3 done.
Yeah. This was a really nice convention, actually.
Yeah, it was lovely. It was in like the grounds of like the equivalent of a German stately home.
Yeah.
It was a one-day convention as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then on the way back, we stopped in Belgium for a couple of days to do a lecture for a club.
Yeah. Also, that long bit of wordplay you did there got nothing from the German audience. They were like, "Why are you saying? Why are you saying?"
It's not
this?
slapstick, is it, mate? It's not slapstick.
You should have just fallen over or dropped the jar.
German's not set up for wordplay, is it? It's all about slapstick. As we discovered later that evening, when people were absolutely wetting themselves. I fell asleep twice. Yeah.
She was nonplussed.
No.
That bit doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen. And thus concludes the German portion of the show.
And thus concludes
the German portion of the show.
So that was us performing in German. We'd really like to do it again.
That was all right, actually.
You know what? It was not as bad as I remember it being. Because I remember walking off stage and going, well, we tanked that.
Like, yeah, that was fine.
That was all right.
I think it's because we were both panicking so much.
Yeah, we were really panicking, yeah.
We were supposed to be doing that again last May in Bavaria.
But something came up.
Something came up. So we're going to have to relearn. If we get to go to Bavaria at any point, it's been rescheduled for this May. It's not going to happen, is it? Yeah. Then we'll have to relearn that at some point. If we're allowed to leave this country and cross the channel and Europeans will let us in. All sorts of reasons.
We're very much not at a counting chickens stage of our career.
No,
but thanks to the German speakers in the audience in the Twitch comments, just going, no, it's quite good. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, thank you. We appreciate it because it was all right.
Thanks,
it could have been better.
It was a really nice convention, and everyone was really nice. And there was I think a certain air of like fair play for bothering to learn something in German because no one ever does.
Which, if anything, was kind of slightly worse, really, because it's that thing of no one ever says to any non-English people who come to English conventions, "Well done for trying it in English." Because the English just assume that everyone can speak English, which is awful.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it was a lovely convention, though, and there were pretzels.
There were, the theatre just sold pretzels. I remember sitting out. We left because it was so hot, wasn't it, in the evening show that we left for a break because the evening comedy show was like 2.5 hours. And at one point, we just left for a bit. I walked out for a bit because I was like, I'm just falling asleep. It's so hot. Bought a couple of pretzels.
Yeah, lovely German.
Had a beer with Joe Barry.
Yeah, had a beer with Joe Barry. Nice guy. But it's So that concludes the German part of the thing. So the next thing
it was better than expected. Thank you.
I'll be honest. I will take it was better than expected.
I mean, it was better than
expected. Take that all the way to the bank. Yeah.
Because I was remembering that as being absolutely awful.
But yeah, we're like at some point we'd really like to try and do like French and Spanish or whatever, but we're not. Now it's not a planning time, you know. A few years from now we'll plan things, but right now we're not planners. We've stepped away from being planners.
We're barely doers.
But here's the plan for the rest of the stream. So the next thing we're going to that was an amazing segue. It wasn't an amazing segue. It was a segue. Was it a segue?
It's a segue. It's a segue between scenes.
Exactly. Don't worry, Magpie. We are not going to try Dutch. No. So the next thing we're going to watch is from when we were on ITV1 on a TV show called The Next Great Magician. Because of the copyright issues which we talked about at the start, if we show that on YouTube or on Facebook, it will take down the stream. So we are going to do essentially what we referred to earlier as the Twitch switch. Don't know how we're going to do this. I think I can just turn off the streams on here and YouTube and Facebook will stop going. So we are going to
twitch.tv/Morgan and West. One more time, that's twitch.tv/Morgan and West.
But that's where we will be for the rest of the stream. We are watching that video and we're watching the thing that we made in lockdown for Penn and Teller for the American special they did. I mean, I assume I can just turn the streams off here. We'll find out. Hopefully,
if everything goes blank, stay on Twitch. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, exactly. There is a chance that what I'll have to do is stop streaming, turn things off, and start streaming again. Don't know how this works. Have never done it before. So, thanks for watching the German bit, those of you that have watched
that.
Technology. So, I made that this week, I got bored. So, let's see what happens as I turn off the YouTube and Facebook channels. We're going to be at twitch.tv/Morgan and West. We will chat nonsense there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes while people migrate over and catch up with us. Otherwise, we'll see you there. I hope. Let's see what happens when I turn this off.